Good morning, everyone. My name is BukkyNG and I'm happy to welcome you to my class. The title of this module is Let Not Money Put Asunder. And here we're going to be talking about how to handle finances in marriage. We know how important the role of money is in relationships. And when we take it into marriage, we know that people come from different backgrounds, people come into marriage with different orientations about money. Everybody's personal experience with money is different, and when you bring all of your previous biases into marriage, it is very important that both parties understand where each of them are coming from, how each of them have been raised to think about money, to spend money. Both parties can have different spending habits, different savings habits, different ideologies about money, investments, savings, even spending. Some people believe in taking care of themselves, buying everything they need, even as far as maybe wearing only some certain type of things. Like some people cannot wear clothes that don't have designer labels. Very little things. Everybody has those little factors that differentiate them and that determine how they spend money. And all of these little things have to be taken into consideration when two people come together and decide that they want to be married. They have to be able to work together. They have to be able to understand where each of them are coming from and how this would impact their decision making when it comes to money. Because the way a couple manages their finances can significantly impact the success, the harmony, the peace of their relationship. And it's been proven that financial stress is a leading cause of marital discord. And sometimes, if not carefully taken care of, if not carefully managed, it can lead to separation and even sometimes divorce. Money is actually one of the causes of divorce in marriages. And so, how people come together and approach the issue of finance or finances in their marriage is very important. And today we're going to be looking at strategies that can help a marriage grow, that can help a marriage succeed, rather than something that would cause the marriage to deteriorate. The first point that we're going to be talking about that I believe can help in a marriage, particularly when it comes to money, is communication. Couples need to have open and honest communication if they are going to stand a chance to have a happy marriage and to be able to build their finances together. Communication is a very fundamental pillar when it comes to marriage, and this extends to financial matters as well. Both partners have to be able to feel comfortable discussing their financial goals, discussing their sources of income, discussing their debt. Peradventure, one or both of them came into the marriage with some form of debt. It could be student loans, it could be staff loans that they may have taken from their place of work, or even in wanting to build or plan the marriage. Sometimes debt can be a form of or an avenue of raising money to buy something that maybe they need in for the family. And so being able to talk about this in a situation where one party is open to taking a loan and the other party is not open to it, it is important that communication is open, communication is honest, the communication is effective, both parties are able to hear each other out, understand where both of them are coming from, the reasons why you are okay with that, and the reason why the other person is not open to that. At the end of the day, what is important is that both parties are able to hear each other, understand each other, and then come to an agreement on what they think is the best decision for them at that point in time. Another thing is, when it comes to spending habits can be a big issue if communication is not effective. And so, how both parties spend money, peradventure, how one person spends money is not okay, or the other party does not feel like the other one person is being prudent. All of these things again would boil down to communication, being able to understand that I may want to change, I may want to do better about my spending habits, but this is something that has been a part of me for a long time. And so, if I'm going to change, I will need time, I will need grace, I will need understanding, and then I would also need help along the way. So, all of these things are would only be able to work out when there's that open and honest and effective communication between both parties. And why communication is important is that regular financial conversations between people can help to prevent misunderstandings. It can help to build trust. It can help to foster a sense of shared responsibility. Another thing couples need to do is set clear financial goals if they are going to be successful in money management. People in relationships need to be able to sit down together, establish clear financial goals together, make plans for their family, both short term, mid term, and long term goals. Couples need to be able to set clear financial goals, so they have to be able to come together, sit down, and talk about what their short term goals are, what their medium term goals are, what their long term goals are for the marriage. They need to be able to work together to achieve as much as possible their goals, because now they are no longer individuals on their own but a unit. And in as much as they are a unit, some of those goals should still relate to each person's individual dreams. And so it is important that people in marriage are intentional about their growth, about the other person's growth, about their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations, and be able to bring all of this together and make plans towards achieving, whatever those goals are. Some of those goals could be retirement planning, it could be buying a home, it could be buying a car, it could even be as little as wanting to change a wardrobe. But what is important is that the goals are clear, the goals have timelines, the goals are realistic, and that both parties make an effort to ensure that these goals are achieved. And what having shared financial aspirations does is that it gives both parties a sense of purpose and makes them feel united in how they manage their finances. Creating a joint budget can be an effective way to manage finances as a couple. And so I would advise that either on a yearly basis or on a monthly basis. And as a matter of fact, there could be a yearly budget, there could also be monthly budgets. But the important thing is being intentional about sitting down to create this budget, and the budget should be a joint budget because what we're focusing on here is finances in marriage. Allocate specific amounts for essential expenses, for savings, for discretionary spending, even for those expenses that can come up, emergency expenses that can come up from time to time. And it is very important that this budget is revisited, particularly the yearly budget, from time to time, and adjustments can be made to accommodate changing financial circumstances, goals. It could even be to accommodate changes in economic activities or the economic situation of the country. These collaborative efforts between both parties ensure that you know both of them have a say in how money is managed, and this can help to promote and foster unity and peace in a marriage. Also, maintaining separate and joint accounts are important. While maintaining a joint account for shared expenses is practical, we also advise that each partner should maintain their own individual accounts. As much as in a marriage, unity is important, becoming one unit is important, it is also important that both people do not lose their individuality, at least to some level or to some extent. And so this is why we say that each partner should still maintain their individual accounts. This allows for financial independence, it allows for personal spending while ensuring that essential bills are still paid from the joint account. And transparency about individual account activities is also crucial to maintaining trust. So even though you have your own individual accounts, it is still advisable that you carry your partner along in how you spend your money, or plans that come up, and that you use your own individual funds to attend to. Assigning financial responsibilities to the different parties in a marriage can also help to streamline the management of household finances. So, for example, one partner may handle bill payments, the other partner may handle investment accounts or retirement planning, or it could even be that one partner is responsible for feeding and making sure that the family is comfortable, while the other partner pays school fees and handles some other big projects. And clearly defined roles in marriage usually would prevent misunderstandings, and it would help to ensure that both partners are contributing to the financial health of the household, and there's no friction as to whether one person is taking advantage of the other or is not contributing as much as possible, because both parties would have come together to agree on what each other would be handling, and so this ensures that everybody is happy. We've talked about building an emergency fund earlier on, and the reason why this is important is that having that financial cushion in case of unexpected expenses or in case of emergencies can help to reduce stress and prevent financial strain on the marriage, because it wouldn't be that it's at that point in time when there's an emergency that you then begin to run around or begin to call people to see if you can borrow money and all of those things, because it would then sometimes lead to finger pointing and just generally people talking to each other in a way that is not pleasing, just because you are under some type of or some amount of stress. Additionally, both partners should have appropriate insurance coverage, including health insurance, life insurance. It could even be disability insurance, any form of insurance that you can call on when you are in an emergency. So, for example, if you have a comprehensive insurance for your car, peradventure one partner is involved in an accident, you would be able to use the services of the insurance company to get the car sorted out rather than having to dip into the family purse to resolve that problem. I would also advise seeking professional advice from time to time. Seeking professional advice or seeking the guidance of a financial advisor or a counselor can be beneficial at times, because these professionals are able to provide objective advice. They can help you make informed decisions. They can mediate financial discussions between both parties when necessary. And sometimes you may not even know what you need to do. These professionals can even help to provide knowledge. They can teach you new things that before now you did not know. And their expertise can contribute to a more harmonious financial life for the couple. Finances in marriage can be a challenging aspect of married life, but it doesn't have to be a source of conflict. It doesn't have to become what would erode the peace and the harmony in the relationship. By adopting open communication, setting clear financial goals, creating budgets, whether they are joint budgets or they are individual budgets, or yearly budgets, monthly budgets, and whatnot, sharing financial responsibilities, couples are able to work together to ensure that money does not put their marriage asunder. Remember that financial stability is not just about money, it's about building trust, it's about understanding, it's about respect, it's about having a strong partnership that can withstand any financial challenge that comes your way. And so that's why it is something that is actually very important for people in marriage to understand, that in order to succeed as a unit, in order to succeed as partners, in order to see each other as equals, in order to have harmony and peace in their marriage, two people that are in the relationship need to come together, be intentional about their actions, be willing to learn, be willing to unlearn, be willing to relearn certain things, and being able to see where the other person is coming from in terms of their backgrounds, in terms of who they are, what they have believed to be true about money, about spending habits, about investments. Being able to put yourself in the other person's shoes would usually help you sometimes to learn something new, or even to unlearn something that you thought was true before you got into the marriage. And what this does is that you are not only making each other happy, you are not only building trust and growing in your relationship, but you are also becoming a better person. You are also learning new things. You are also becoming a teacher, because both of you would have different things that you can teach each other, and this just helps to make both parties better people. We will go over some of the concepts that we've learned today, just as a way of reiterating the principles and the strategies that are key to handling finances in marriage and preventing conflicts. And the first thing we had talked about was open and honest communication, and just essentially reiterating the fact that both partners have to feel comfortable with each other about their financial goals, about their dreams, about their income, their source of income. And sometimes it is not enough to just talk about your source of income. Peradventure, one person's source of income may feel like it is not significant, or that the contribution from that source of income is not enough, given that you've sat down together, itemized, what your goals are, itemized what the family expenses are, and you realize that maybe one person's income or even both people's income would not be enough to cover all of those expenses. And so being able to have conversations where you talk about how both parties can do better. If one person has to get another source of income, which could mean maybe getting another job, or bringing some of their savings to come and invest for the family, and just generally talking about those conversations that could be difficult sometimes, depending on how open and how willing each party is to having these discussions. And so money usually can tend to be a very tricky issue to talk about. And so again, we'll go back to the fact that people in marriage need to understand that they have become a unit. And so this is not about wanting to hide what you've been able to build before you became married. You have to be willing to open up. You have to be willing to, except before you got into the marriage, you already had maybe trust issues, or you feel like the other person that you are in marriage with, you cannot completely trust that person. And so all of these factors, biases, maybe past experiences, and all of that can make it difficult to be able to commit, or to be able to open up to the other person. And so what I would say to that is, maybe before getting to having effective communication, you should focus on seeking professional advice. And this is not only focused on marriage, but even wanting to work on the issues that are stemming from your past, which could be lack of trust, unwillingness to open up, about your finances, about your investments, and things like that. So the first point of call could actually be that you need to work on yourself. You need to work on trusting people. You need to work on being able to open up, being able to work together, because these issues are real. This is not about just thinking that you can enter into marriage and then everything is fine. Nothing is fine until you make it fine. Nothing can work until both parties are willing to make it work. And so if it requires that before getting into talking about money, or before getting into talking about having joint accounts or having a joint budget, what maybe the first point of call could be that you actually need to work on yourself, which could require even reaching out for professional help to work on yourself, work on whatever emotional or psychological issues you may have before. And your partner needs to understand these struggles. Your partner needs to understand where you're coming from, what your issues are. And I feel like even knowing that you are willing to work on those issues could be enough for, or at that point in time, or for a particular period of time, while you work on those issues, while you work on being better, while you work on communication and being able to open up and all of that. Different marriages would definitely have different issues, different marriages, different people. What works for one couple will not work for the other couple. And so depending on where you are at any point in time, what is important is that both people understand where they are. They understand each other's struggles, they understand each other's biases, and they give each other space to work on those things, work on those attributes. The important thing is that you're willing to work on those things, you're willing to become a better person, you're willing to go the extra mile to become, a better partner for each other. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of everything we've talked about in this course. We've said money is a significant aspect of every relationship and marriage as well. And we've talked about the fact that how a couple manages their finances can greatly impact the success of their marriage. We've said that financial stress is a leading cause of marital discord, and it could cause or lead to separation or divorce, and that couples must handle the issue of finance in their marriage with transparency, communication, and a sense of responsibility. We've talked about the fact that open and honest communication can help a marriage, prevent misunderstandings, can help couples build trust, and it can foster a shared sense of shared responsibility. And that the reason why there must be open and honest communication is that both partners need to feel comfortable discussing their financial goals, income status, debt, and maybe even spending habits. We've said they need to set clear financial goals, and these goals could be short term, like paying off debt or saving for a vacation, and it could also be long term goals like retirement planning or buying a home. And that having shared financial aspirations would usually provide a sense of purpose and unity in managing finances. We've said that it's a good idea to create a joint budget, also have a joint budget, which could be a yearly budget and also monthly budget. And that this budget, the idea behind the budget is to allocate specific amounts for essential expenses, savings, maybe even discretionary spending, as well as emergency funds. And that you could revisit and adjust, your budget regularly so that you can accommodate changing financial circumstances or goals, or even accommodate or adjust to the changing economic landscape. And that this collaborative effort ensures that both partners have a say in how money is managed. We've also said that it's a good idea to maintain separate and joint accounts. While this is not a must, but it is encouraged that while maintaining a joint account, it is also important for each partner to have their own individual accounts, as this allows for financial independence and personal spending while still ensuring that essential bills are paid from the joint account. And transparency about individual account activities is crucial to maintaining trust between both parties. We've talked about assigning financial responsibilities where both parties can choose to streamline the management of household finances or expenses by dividing the financial responsibilities involved in their family. So one partner may handle bill payments, the other partner may handle investment accounts, while some other person can choose to manage school fees payments, while the other person takes care of household expenses like feeding and other things required in the home. And that clearly defined roles prevents misunderstandings and ensures that both partners are contributing to the financial health of the household. We've talked about the importance of having emergency funds and insurance, and that having appropriate insurance coverage is important for untimely or unexpected expenses. And some of this insurance coverage that we've talked about includes health insurance, it could be life insurance, it could be comprehensive insurance for your cars, and so on. And that seeking professional advice should not be taken for granted. Seeking the advice of a financial advisor or a counselor can usually be beneficial because these professionals can provide objective advice. They can help you make informed decisions. They can even teach you what you did not know before. And they can mediate financial discussions between both parties when necessary. And their expertise can contribute to a more harmonious financial life for the couple. This module is part of a series of financial courses that can be found on BukkyNG, where we've put together courses on different topics that can help you build your knowledge of finance, either in marriage or as an individual, as a young person, or even as somebody about to go into retirement. There's information for everyone, irrespective of what your status in life is. And our goal is to ensure that wherever you are, whatever it is you may be doing at any point in time, you are able to have access to information that can help you cultivate a savings habit, an investment habit, and also learn something new that can help you in your financial and investment journey.